Namaskaram, Flomashkaram, Flomaste. Have an incredible live stream today as you take notes, as you get ready for the dark truths of Halloween. Right now, it's said that the veil is thinning. You might have heard this. You might have even understood some of the origins of Halloween. And why is it that we celebrate like this? Why is it that one of the scariest things about Halloween is kids getting diabetes from the candy, right? Like, why is that the major concern when you don't know the occult reasons as to what is the purpose of this holiday? By the way, a holiday is meant to be a holy day. Halloween is a celebration of darkness. Okay, let's start there. Now, of course, I'm dressed as a monk. This is how I normally dress. I'm not specifically dressing up for Halloween. I'm embodying the priest beast. Okay. There's a difference. You're out here wearing cat ears and devil horns. And I'm out here tapping into the very essence of the bodhisattva. We are not the same. Okay. We are not the same. Unless you recognize this very nature, this vajra, this diamond that cuts through everything, because it remains in truth. It remains in unison with the present moment. And it thinks like this: just as plants return energy to their roots, the natural world right now is going to get quieter, allowing us to tune into more subtle energies that are there. Okay. Now, Celtic traditions, they've recognized autumn as this powerful portal of the thinning of the veil. Okay. Is usually seen in autumn time. So let's break some of this down. Okay. So Halloween's roots lie in the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. Okay. Do Halloween. Okay. We'll call it. Okay. Let's get it. So Halloween's roots lie in the Celtic festival of Samhain, where people marked the transition going into the dark half of the year. What did they mean? Right? The Druids believed that spirits and the god of death rose on October 31st. So they dress up in costumes, make offerings, and perform rituals to protect themselves from these entities. This wasn't originally about evil, but rather about managing natural fear and reverence for the unseen during a time of heightened vulnerability. Okay. So then, of course, it transformed into modern day Halloween. The festival evolved over time, as does anything evolve over time, especially when the Romans merged pagan tradition with Christian holidays to make their new religion more accessible to others, right? So then Halloween became All Saints Day, Hallows Eve, and just like a day for honoring the dead, Day of the Dead, but now under a Christian lens, right? So many of the practices, like wearing costumes, making offerings, you know, they survived, but they took on newer symbolic meaning. So today, Halloween has transformed, especially through Hollywood, into a night of horror and dark fascination, right? And ritualistic violence is portrayed in these horror movies in a lot of Halloween series, if you guys know. Okay. It taps into an ongoing fascination with fear and chaos, which is linked to the energies people unintentionally give to it. So when you're watching all of these horror movies, you can become stuck in a cycle of fear, actually, making you more vulnerable to manipulative narratives that someone's out to get me, right? And it increases paranoia, right? Now, a lot of like Elon's costume in Halloween was the Baphomet symbol, right? It's represented with the goat because the goat is a symbol that I can be my own God, right? It's the symbol of I've goat this, right? I don't need God. That's a very dangerous, subversive, inverted type of energy. And I want you to remain cautious of this because they will try to brainwash you, right? But traditional religious submission, as you say, submission not in a bad way, right? In our minds, we think submission is such a negative word, but it's symbolized by the sheep. So the sheep and the goat. Hasn't culture subverted you to think that why would I be a sheep, right? When it's actually the most powerful Christ-like symbol, the shepherd, right? But really, you're thinking in terms of, man, a sheep is so fluffy and weak, you know? No, it's actually innocent, guys, because the symbol is about connecting to your own autonomy, right? The goat is autonomy. The goat is it's horny, right? It has horns, so it manages its darker instincts and temptations. Whereas Halloween today doesn't have to mean connecting with the ancient rituals, darker elements. Okay. So as a neo shaman, the focus is on what energy you're choosing to give. So know the origins, know the intentions, remember that the veil is thinning, and now it's a time for release, self-reflection, connection, rather than letting cultural traditions shape your experience through your subconscious, right? So you got to stay aware and intentional. You don't need to avoid Halloween, but it's just about being mindful, right? Instead of blindly participating in traditions rooted in fear or chaos, we have to channel this season's energy into more grounding purposes, ancestral connection, perhaps, maybe even positive rituals from our past that, or, since the veil is thinning, we have to understand it shows us the Akasha, right? So we have to understand our own Akashic records during this period, during this time, and be aware of how modern media tries to shape our beliefs. And we have to choose practices that align with our inner truth again. So what does it mean that the veil is thinning? Number one, ancestors and spirits come closer. Imagine that you're being connected with an ancestor and you think it's an evil spirit or a dark spirit, like a demon, and then you just push it away, right? That's from fear mentality. So when ancestors or past loved ones can visit, they can visit during this time. So if you're dreaming of them or you're catching signs that they're around somewhere, that's the veil, giving them a pass to reach out to you. But don't brush it off. Let them in and honor that presence. They've got wisdom to share. Okay. Sometimes they show up in the form of an orb. Sometimes they show up in the form of a person that you can comprehend. Okay. And you can always ask questions to these beings just to be sure. Right. But autumn's the best season to get through to the ancestral energies. And with the veil thin, boundaries and perception start to loosen up. So you might notice like new flashes of creativity, but also illusion, right? AI is heightening. We won't know the difference between what we're watching is real or fake, right? This is why many people feel that autumn fuels their inner fire because the subconscious is more accessible. So the visions for the future start to feel more possible. So if you're drawn to studying and exploring this, you just got to learn how to be a flow state Jedi. Okay, you got to learn how to ride the wave. You got to ride the wave of this veil, of this Maya, as it's opening. With all this openness, it's crucial to set boundaries, right? With more energies freely flowing, you got to decide what you are actually allowing in and when. Right? You might say, I'm open to guidance and insight, but only during my evening times to manage the influx or something. Okay. So you're allowed as a neo shaman to decide that this is the time to be clear on what energy I'm welcoming. I'm protecting my space from this and any unwanted vibes in this environment right now. You claim it, you understand it, you burn some sage, a ritual, you do a quick ritual, and it's done. You don't need to overthink this process. Okay. Now, there will be themes of death and transformation coming up around this phase. When I say death, I mean it in the way of the tarot card, right? It's an ending to make space for new beginnings. It's a transformation. It's a letting go of limiting beliefs, old memories, wanting to be released, right? That's why these old ideas are surfacing. They want to be set free. Dobby has no master anymore, right? So express it and embrace it as a necessary part of the journey to reap a richer harvest. Plant the new seeds for growth. We think of spring as the time for new beginnings. Autumn is the powerful for planting intentions, the foundational things of perennial wisdom in deep-rooted dreams that last, right? That don't fizzle out quickly. Because a lot of people dream and it fizzles out quickly. It has no long-term intentions. But if you have a long-term intention that begins when the veil thins, the energy makes it potent. Whether you're starting a new project or you're trying to embrace a new mindset at work, now's the time to really embed the commands, right? You want to root it in because the subconscious mind is more hazy, you could say. So behind this veil right now, okay, and look at how many festivals we got all at once, guys. Okay, Kali Puja, Diwali, Halloween, Day of the Dead, Samhain. Okay, behind the veil lies something that we call the other world, which is a place of mystery, spirit, the ineffable. And so this is now easier to access. To be a shadow dancer right now would be just oh so natural, okay? Because you're aligning with the cycle to respect what your ancestor has left you, and now you're planting seeds for the life that you are here to grow, okay? So when folks start acting like the veil's got an open door policy, you're probably wondering, like, what's really going on, right? To the untrained eye, it might seem like a coincidence that all of these, you know, festivals fall in this perfect cocktail. But let Uncle Makara tell you what's really going on, man. First of all, Kali, the warrior mother, and Lakshmi, the queen of abundance, are both on duty. Do you guys get that? Like it's a mix of fierce cleansing and sweet blessings. Okay? This is both sides of the Shakti energy. With Kali, you don't mess around. She'll show you what needs to go. You got any hangups, any energies holding you back? Tonight's the night to face it. Just set it ablaze in her honor. And Lakshmi invites prosperity to fill the space that Kali clears. So we're using them as we're stacking, right, with the energy. This is why we're biomechanical bioengineers of our bioelectric, electromagnetic energy. Okay. So together, these goddesses are setting up shop for transformation, and there's no tourists allowed. You get what I mean? This is only for the bold that I'm speaking to right now. What do I mean by that? The West is on their own spiritual frequency today. They're tapping into what's unseen. It's about acknowledging your ancestors, embracing both the light and the dark, and honoring the ones who paved the way. Okay. But when everyone's focused like this, when a whole crowd of souls is tuned in, the veil does feel a bit thinner, right? And that collective intention that, oh, it's going to be Halloween on October 31st. And it's not a one-time deal, right? October 31st is a walk between worlds. So anytime you're ready to dive in, you can tune into the other side. No calendar dates are necessary. But there's a collective going on, a certain buzz in the air. So imagine it like this. All year, you got these spirits knocking, tapping on your door. And maybe you're too busy, too preoccupied to hear, but tonight you're actually paying attention. And when a whole crowd pays attention at once, it's like a spiritual beacon lights up. So what do you do with that energy? Simple. You light a candle, you set some intentions, you honor your guides, and you tune in. That's it. You just tap the fuck in. You protect your space, you let go of what's holding you back, and you see what the spirits have to say. Create a communication line, because here's the trick. The spirits are always around, my friend. It's up to you to start being receptive to them. It's up to you to start paying attention. So happy journey, okay, to all of you. But this isn't just about one day on the calendar. It's a test, a chance, and an invitation all rolled into one. So Samhain, however it's pronounced, traditionally it was a time for honoring ancestors and embracing the mysteries, allowing the hidden or the subconscious parts of ourselves to surface. Dia de los Muertos, right? The Mexican holiday honors the dead, celebrates life, family connection, marigolds, these sugar skulls, the presence of loved ones, joy, gratitude, that the departed still play a vital role in all of our lives. Right? Then we have Diwali. Okay. Look, Halloween. Lakshmi Puja, I believe, is in Nepal, said Iraj. Then we have Dia de los Muertos. Okay. I believe that's how you spell it, Samhain. Okay. Okay. All of these energies together, right? So now we can stack this thing. Hey, Uncle Makara, it's been a minute since I caught a live. Yep. Dope. Young Hefe, good to hear from you, man. It's been a while. Yeah. It's cool, man. I've been traveling. I had my birthday in Thailand and so forth. So that was a little bit of a portal for me. Now, someone says, I don't want no bad energy on Halloween now. Absolutely not, right? Absolutely not. But that's what I'm going to help you with, okay? So, Diwali, although typically celebrated over multiple days, Diwali's essence peaks over the lighting of lamps, right? Lighting of the Festival of Lights, it's called. So, it marks the illumination of our inner world, dispersing our ignorance, right? Oh, thank you, man. Yeah. And it is an auspicious time of celebrating resilience, overcoming something, right? Like the light wins over the darkness, right? That's the guru energy. We had Guru Josiah on our podcast yesterday on Savage Shaman Seminars. Look up Savage Shaman Seminars on YouTube and go watch it. Okay, it was a very deep conversation. Very deep conversation. Okay, we call it Nirvana maxing. Okay, amazing. So the thinning of the veil and the lighting of the Diwali lamps can actually help create deeper insights on the spiritual path, because you're heightening intuition and connection with the subtle energies. And this is a day where you got to trust your instincts, right? And affirm your intentions, like really embed all of those commands into the subconscious mind, right? That's what you got to do. This is a day that embodies both light and dark aspects. So it's like you have to find harmony right now in the polarities, how you're being split right now. Like, oh my gosh, I'm too mean, or I'm so obedient and kind. I can't find the gray area. Now it's time to be the gray area. Okay. Now it's time to harmonize. Consider this an opportunity for embracing all of you, acknowledging what's been hidden, the shadow work, right? But allowing the inner and outer changes to transform you and empower you. Is this basically about the spirits that return to earth? Their spirit is around both good and bad. Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you how to enrich this day's energy in a better way. Okay, maybe that'll answer your question. So today, Kali and Lakshmi's energies are creating a very balanced blend of release and renewal. Okay, so Kali Puja, Day of the Dead, Halloween, Lakshmi Puja, all of these together are there to honor all aspects of beauty, of the divine, of both prosperity and joy. We're welcoming both. Okay, the material world and the physical world is fully creating this dual presence that can guide us to release blocks of inner wealth, and trust ourselves from the seen and unseen world. So what's happening right now is we're surrounded by haunting spirits, right? It's a mysterious season, but it's not so much about the dead walking among us. It's more about tuning into it. So the veil isn't like a boundary. It's a state of consciousness. Okay. So because October holds this very magnetic Scorpio mystique, we're naturally drawn to pay attention because we're becoming more aware of the energies in subtle realms. So imagine it like the internet, right? The internet is always there, but it's only visible when we decide to log on to the Wi-Fi or whatever. So the spirit world operates very similarly. It's about our choice to connect and our openness to feel and our awareness to bring these energies closer. And for a lot of empaths, they just want to stay at home, man. This freaks them out, right? So I get it. I get it. Protect your energy, yo. That's perfectly valid. Okay. But during Halloween, you got to explore this connection. We have shifted, not just the veil. Because mirrors, okay, listen. Before going out, if you're going to a Halloween party, whatever you're doing tonight, before going out, you visualize your aura as a reflective shield, as a mirror itself, repelling any energy that doesn't serve you. Just like how we decide to be known when we choose to speak to someone. Yeah. So mirrors have long been spiritual tools, but if you place a mirror facing outward near your front door, or even carry one with you, you can actually reflect negative energies away from you. So buy those little tiny mirrors, you just carry them with you. That's already protective. It's basically saying return to sender. That's the energy of the mirror. It's their own reflection looking back at them. So if anybody tries to harm you that night, the energy of the mirror dimension takes over now. Okay, this is some Doctor Strange shit, right? But yeah, carving protective symbols into a pumpkin can actually amplify their energetic protection. But this pumpkin ritual originally was a really dark, fucked up energy. They used to use the ritual, fats of the offerings that they did and or whatever, and put it into the pumpkin and stuff. But again, use your thumb to trace the symbol of, let's say, a specific elemental energy, if you want, right? Or something like this, to ward off the spirits or the negative energies, right? Is it totally unrelated question? Is it true that sightings of the demon children with black eyes is increasing? Yes. Um, quite possibly. It's rating strong, at least. So yeah, you got to be careful, man. Which spirit should I work with, bro? I need your guidance. What's your background? What pantheons do you want to work with? I can help you based on if I have more knowledge uh around it. But yeah, work with iron. Iron has a very protective quality. It's believed to ward off spirits as well. Okay, it's very sacred to unwanted entities. So you carry an iron object like a key ring, a key, whatever. It'll keep you shielded. Okay, or clove or rosemary if you really want to go the very herbology route. You like Hinduism and Buddhism, okay? Yeah, I would actually, start with one of the main energies. It's very good to work with a very strong energy also during this time as the veil is thinning. Like, yeah, so use one of the main energies, like use Shakyamuni Buddha. or use one of the main Trimurti or maybe Krishna, some god, So use one like that at first, and then you will find the rest. My biggest advice to you, I God, is basically find a spiritual theme. Your spiritual theme sets up your spiritual team. This is what we believe in Primal Sutra. Okay. Does the food we consume play any part in our spiritual energy, by the way? Yes, absolutely it does. Absolutely it does. And it's always helpful to bless or send good intention to the meat that you are consuming before you eat it. Um, Krishna, listen, man, Krishna is all powerful, very powerful, but I don't think it's this thing that a lot of humans, they use human error and they classify one being as a hierarchical to the next. Like the ISKCON people don't even acknowledge, they consider Shiva a demigod. You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense because he's everything and nothing at the same time. You get what I mean? So I eat meat too, brother, but I bless the meat before I eat it. So I'll just put my hands over it. Okay, pause. um, but basically you want to send good intentions to it. Okay. When you grow much older and you start noticing negative side effects of meat, then highly recommended. But for right now, as you're growing up, I don't know how old you are, but you know, growing boy or gal, I mean, no, you're good. But you just got to be intentional with what you're eating, right? I remember like sometimes you start eating something and then you can't stop. You binge eat, right? You go to another thing and then you go to another thing. So that's the thing. We have to check in with our ancestors, right? Yo, is this okay? Can you give me an added layer of protection so I don't keep snacking? Right? Can you like would I be able to say a prayer, right? And honor the past versions of me and leave a small offering, right? Like food to invite in their protective presence, right? So sound, bells, chimes. I'm telling you, tuning forks. I posted the tuning forks video for the adepts. The tuning forks are very, very powerful. Okay. Tuning forks are very, very powerful. 432 hertz is a very good one because it primes you into the protective energy of the earth. 396 is a very good one for releasing fear and guilt. Okay, and unblocks the root chakra. Very good for that. And angel number 444, which is 4 is my life path, but it also really helps in removing dark energy. Okay, so listen to these frequencies and start to tap in. Okay, cheeseburgers are so addictive. Yeah, yeah. It's the reason why they're addictive, bro. Everything that tastes really good isn't good for you, right? But in any case, everything in moderation. Take the middle path. You know what I mean? Don't be like, I'll never have cheeseburgers again. Okay. Do crystals have anything to do with protection of spirits, both good and bad? They can. Again, these are minerals, these are elements, these are energies of the earth, right? And so they can, of course, be a very powerful frequency holder. So stones, certain enriching stones have very powerful potency. But that doesn't mean that just like food, they're going to affect people in many different ways, according to their energetic signature, how they handle their spiritual work, etc. Right? Do they meditate? It's going to be determined by that, right? So anyway, I'm closing the whiteboard, but I'll take any questions that you guys have now. Okay. So any questions on Halloween, etc. Or it can be anything related to flow state, high performance, spirituality, and making ourselves in the world a better place using this technology. Okay. All right. No questions? Okay. So what I'll do to wrap up is I'm going to ask you to number one, this is the most important thing coming up as a download for all of you. You got to forgive yourself of your past, yo. You got to forgive yourself. Don't keep abandoning yourself, finding ways to escape you. You cannot escape you. You are always with you. You are I and I. It's just you, a spotlight, and God, and other little fragments of that. Everybody you see is a fragment of that divine. So it's not so one-sided. It's all-encompassing. So appreciate yourself and forgive yourself because you've come a long way, you know? Maybe you haven't acknowledged yourself in a while. You deserve it, you know? You deserve it. So I got is asking how to get powers like levitation, like the Tibetan monks. So this is a very deep paradox because as a monk, you're not even allowed to brag about powers like that. It's seen as disrespectful because it gets glamorized, it becomes commercialized. People will want money, like look at the levitating guy. And there's too many dangers for the monastery and the monks who live there if something like this is going on. It's going on, but behind closed doors. We don't know much about it. Okay. So it's really important to, first of all, understand. Hold on. There's many questions I'm seeing. Did I miss that question? Okay, no. Okay. Yeah, so to be able to get siddhis like levitation, to do a lot of advanced spiritual work. Nowadays, we found more ways to hijack this. I found ways to hack consciousness myself. Um, as I got into channeling, as I was able to invoke and bring in these energies with an acting background, it was very easy for me to also merge the acting world with the metaphysical world. Okay, because the way you act it, you fact it, you embed it deeper into your consciousness. You get it? So that means that you can use gamma waves to hijack this. And this is going to be in our 5-day Savage Shaman Challenge. Okay. Just a little bit of a segue there. This 5-day challenge is going to test you physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, spiritually. Okay. The 5 bodies, you are going to be completely amplified and have tools for each one. Each day, you will have different tools to use and tap into to rewire, hardwire the best version of you, the savage shaman within, who you really want to be. Okay. So if you wish to test your third eye, okay, so Medea says, uh, forgiveness isn't for other people, it's for you. Yeah, absolutely. Tip, if you wish to test your third eye, simply place a penny on the center of your forehead to see if your third eye is working or not. Yeah. If I listen to gamma waves, isochronic tones, will I get siddhis? It really depends because gamma waves are what advanced monks or advanced meditators reach that brainwave state, right? So if you try to listen to frequencies, isochronic tones, you might have sudden epiphanies, realizations. More of that stuff will come through, right? But now it's just about working with it, trusting in it, because it's going to, first of all, silence the mind. And then from the silence, the true inner voice, okay, that hidden inner voice of God awakens. Okay. Now, this is very powerful to just do a visualization or create some kind of a way that you are merging with divine essence. Okay. As a basic visualization to start. So I like to believe that it's a combination of things. Okay. It's a combination of factors. It's mind, body, and spirit. Right. Can you provide some tips and hacks for the siddhis? It's very difficult for you to get siddhis right away because it's like merit. So I work with Janus, one of the god of doorways of Roman pantheon. And he always says that you have to earn your flow state. You have to earn that peak performance state. It's merit, right? It's like good merit. You do good work, you get more, right? So this is why bodhisattvas, Buddhas, they're just going out, spreading kindness, spreading love, spreading compassion, spreading the teachings. Again, it can be sidetracked, spiritual bypassing a lot of toxicity in communities like that. But again, that's just, we're overgeneralizing. These people, they train themselves to quiet the mind and be able to move through the world way more productive because they have less to worry about. Correct? So one of the greatest male fantasies is just, I'm just going to get away from everything. Just going to work on my own enlightenment. Okay. Now, some can see that as a cop out. I see that as inspiring because now you've doubled down. You're showing devotion more than ever so that the divine can have devotion and co-create with your devotion. You see? So there's nothing more important than knowledge. Yeah. I would say more so wisdom, right, bro? Because knowledge is just in the mind. Wisdom is integral. It's a part of the body. We feel it, we know it, right? There's a difference between belief and knowing. You know you have two hands and legs, right? Do you know that there are these spirits? Maybe not. But until then, you may have a mystical encounter, an experience all of a sudden. That will change it because now you're seeing through a fresh pair of eyes after experience. So experience is the greatest teacher. Life is the greatest teacher. And I'm a student of life, first and foremost. I might have all these degrees and university stuff. Doesn't mean shit, right? It really doesn't. Like no one likes that dude, right? And so we have to understand how to not only use our intellect and our wisdom, but also tap into our intuition, right? Just using our emotional brain, gut brain, isn't going to do anything. Our rational mind, with our heart, with all our chakra points, then we're beaming, we're auraed up, right? We're auraed up. So that's a very different vibration, right? You have two hands and two legs. Yeah, some don't even know that. Yeah, yeah. That's like Sadhguru in the Impulsive interview. Do you know? You have two hands, don't you? You know you have two hands. You believe you have two hands, right? All right, so any questions, guys? Anything coming up? Any more advice that you want? Otherwise, we'll wrap it up soon. Okay. But remember, you were never alone. Okay. You were never alone. You think you're alone, bro? It's overcrowded in my room. What are you talking about? Right? It's overcrowded. It's too much. Okay. Calm it down. All right. Take a chill pill. I tell these entities, take a chill pill. Right. They think it's part of the dharmic path and they have a different conception and understanding of time. Right. So when we work with our own time order, and every culture is different, right? You go to like a Middle Eastern culture, their time culture is so multiphasic and multitasking and chain smoking while doing something else in the corner and then also doing another thing and then like phone, Habibi. on the side of the ear, and then like, so every culture is different according to their understandings of time, but we as a culture, we've become too attached to time, right? We've become needy for time instead of being timeless. But take someone like Rumi or Osho, they were timeless, correct? Soho. Yeah. Isn't a Soho a place in like New York or whatever? Yeah. Is Sadhguru legit? I would say he has legitimacy. I did go to his inner engineering. I did his program. Um, I did feel an energy shift. Okay. I do think a lot of it is theatrics and just, intellect. But, you know, it is what it is, you know? Yeah. I'm not gonna say the R word on YouTube, but I get what you mean. Osho's words. Um, Got to be like Kevin from Home Alone and tell the scary monsters to shut up. That's hilarious, bro. Right? We all remember Macaulay Culkin, but what happened to him later? Was he into heroin or what? He came looking like Skeletor or something. What a cute kid, huh? That got transformed into Skeletor looking dude later on in his life. Wow. Who's my favorite master, Osho? Osho's one of them, I would say. I would say some of the top ones are even just metaphysical, like Mahadev's energy, like just the 12th dimensional Shiva, connected to Kalabhairava, connected to Rudra, connected to, Shankara. All of the names that you hear with that is is so it creates such a connection of different styles and different, sages that come through. Guru Pashupati is a great one as well, the Hanuman Bhakt, but also deeply embedded into Shiva's tech, right? Osho is a great master. I think a lot of people don't understand him. He's a glitch in the matrix. Um, Let me see. My specific guru, Geshe-la, as well, in the path of the Kadampa lineage. Okay, he was connected to the Jason-Kappa lineage, okay, and so forth. And the Dharma protector, Dorje Shugden. So that's my lineage, but my father teaches Buddhist philosophy and psychology. So, and he's retired psychiatrist. So, is Pashupati legit? I heard he's a fraud. Um, you know what? I don't judge the guru based on, their how they depict themselves. I listen to the wisdom, and his intention is very pure. So whatever he is, yes, I understand he was a beach yogi or whatever earlier. I get it. But a lot of his information is very fine-tuned, refined, and legit. The Swamurti stuff that he's doing, the work that he's bringing through by, teaching people that through movement, through breath, through visualization, this is what all the masters are telling you, but he's saying it in his own ways, right? And he's speaking to the general modern man or woman, right? Like someone is not gonna you're gonna find Pashupati probably through the internet, right? So with any guru, right? With any guru, you have to just understand what's really going on underneath the surface. So yeah, when I read Pashupati's energy, I read that he's a person that has gone through a lot in life, you know, and now he's found like a code. He's come back with the elixir of life in some way. He's been through some kind of a hero's journey, you can tell, and now he just wants to share and give back. That's kind of the energy that I get from him. It could be he has a team that's deceptive or like whatever. I don't know. I don't want to make any assumptions or generalizations about anybody, right? This is just the energy that I read. Um, the energy of being around some of these energies. Like for instance, someone is legit where they're not in it for just the commercial flashiness of it. you know? Osho did have that, but he wasn't attached to those Rolls Royces, I don't think. I don't think he was like clinging to them like the Bugattis that Andrew Tate has, right? I don't think he had that level of attachment. He was just, showing what is possible. And so that's how I want you to really. He does have a very chaotic, neutral energy, though. Osho, he has a bit of a rebel within that wants to spark chaos. That's for sure. However, you know, each guru, each disciple who's taking someone from the darkness to the light, we believe it's the real guru, that you have to go from the light to the darkness and to the light again, right? Because you have to go through hell to make your heaven, as we discovered in the podcast yesterday. You have to go through your own hell. You have to go up the hierarchy, become the king of hell, go through it, set up shop there, grow, expand, create a team that burrows up, you know, get to a neutral ground. Now you're at a solid base, at a surface. Now you build slowly towards your ascension journey, right? And so this is really a lot of the path of a lot of spiritual individuals. And you can tell me quotes like, you know, spirituality are those that have been to hell, okay, or whatever. I get it, okay? That's cool as a quote, but it's not cool if you're not doing anything about it, right? If you're just posting quotes just to get a validation response, like, oh, that was kind of spiritual to say, you're still not in the ballpark, my friend. This gnosis happens when you fully dissolve your own sense of self, when you go deep into inner states of meditation. And suddenly the quietest, most gentle voice tells you some little nugget, little golden nugget of information that rewires and changes everything. Like, for instance, I was thinking, what if the confident, happy, rich, ripped me was the real me? That one question flipped my whole world upside down. You see what I'm saying? Hey, Andrea, epic. What do I feel about Sadhguru's energy? I feel like he's a very educated man, and he's been able to really create a very interesting character for himself. He does have spiritual potency, though. Let's not lie about that. He does have spiritual potency. You can feel it when he's in the environment. He has a gravitational pull about him, so he's doing something correctly. Okay, because I read that energy. It's very powerful. It's very strong. Some people end up crying in his lectures. Why is that? There's a Kundalini release happening. There's egos being shattered. Their reality is being transformed. So with any guru, you're going to have that. And you're going to have just the crazy people who wail just to get attention in the audience. But you know what I mean, right? Namaste, Andrea. Good to catch up with you. Had a lot of things going wrong. Worst was Jasper Mutt had parvovirus. Oh, I'm sorry to hear. Someone, at least Osho, told the truth about humanity with politics in the best way possible. Yeah. That's okay, Andrea. Take your time. Take your own pace with the teachings. Take your own pace. Because the right lessons will come to you at the right times. I always say to people who watch these videos, okay? So if you're here now and you're getting these downloads, get them, You have to rush back 500 videos from now and try to find something that relates back to it, okay? But just allow yourself to get the downloads now, okay? So spirituality is when you learn to be yourself, I'm sure, not doing crazy stuff for clout, like you said. Yeah. I mean, my personal definition of spirituality, bro, is authenticity 2.0. That's what spirituality really is in the future. And that's why also you'll notice businesses are moving slowly more towards transparency now, right? More than ever. So to be a spiritual brand, you can't be unauthentic, bro. You're trying to manufacture, DNA healings for people, okay, just to appear as a spiritual expert, okay? When the Akashic record keepers don't even know you, right? Your family's Kula Deva has no idea you even exist. Your Yadams are going, what is he doing? Right? So this is a wake-up call to all of you, and I have the Buddha eyes behind me as a reminder for this. That today, this Halloween season, we are about to tap in and really start to create the greatest. Oh, look at the chakra points, right? This little, I don't know, this rainbow thing that's happening. Maybe I'm getting my rainbow body finally. Finally, guys. Finally, I downloaded that city. Okay. New respawn and a new character avatar. Okay. Shout out to Guru Padma Sambhava, one of my favorite gurus of all time. If I had to double down on one spiritual path, it would probably be Padma Sambhava's energy. He's a king, he's a warrior, he's a magician, he's a lover. He has found a way to dominate all the male archetypes at once and be a walking embodiment of it. You see his mustache is twirling around like an upward spiral, right? So you know there's something about this guy. Shiva, brother, is my Kula Deva. Spirituality, yeah, okay, I read that comment. Okay, guys, so got the rainbow body, that's a good sign. The rainbow bridge, okay, the chakra system, let's get it. Not the rainbow people, okay. um, the rainbow bridge, okay, chakra system, all the Power Ranger colors, each chakra point amped up. Okay, let's get it. Upward Spiral Gang. May we never be the same again. Thank you so much for tuning in. Much love to all of you. Happy Halloween and stay safe out there. All right, let's get it. Upward Spiral Gang. Trick or treat. It's always going to be treat. You already know. Let's get it. Let's get it.